Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome to another episode of the wonderful Commodore CDTV. Last we left off, I did some upgrades to this bad boy that I never completed. I bought the new cables from Sordin.ie. They're right here, the little clippy things and all that stuff. Why didn't you do that, Chris? Are you lazy? Yeah. I had repairs and other stuff, and it just got pushed to the side. And then I had the towers, and then I kind of went ape a little bit, and, you know, things got out of hand. As you can tell, I got another Dell 2410F. She does 15 kilohertz too. I got tired of looking at that tiny screen when I'm looking at circuit boards. So this is running. I have my clock set. We're on the CDTV 2.37. Whatever ROMs, they do some science and let you read copy discs a little better, and something to do with don't have this flash and card thing that nobody has anyway. So I put fresh batteries, capacitor that's been replaced, along with a new IR LED looking thing in here. So she works really well. If we press button A, it will take us to the CD screen here. And the CD screen gives me the ability to set the time. Like, you know, just use your controls and type it in. Like if I want it to be 7 o'clock, I just type 7 o'clock, but it's 6 o'clock, 6:52, right to 52. And to switch between this, you press button A, I think, 24-hour, AM, PM, or whatever. So I'm going to do PM. It is the 4th of August, 2022. Got the old UK style date there, EU guys. Here in America, where Jesus lives, we go month, day, year. I tried that and it wouldn't let me do anything but a 12 here. And I'm like, something's wrong. Then I figured, oh, that's right. You all do it a little different. So that's fine. Set the old language, 10 seconds on the old preview here, or timeout. This is, of course, your date. Sound on, sound off, locale, and the button thing for what it times out. I don't know what this is. I think it's the player. Oh, overscan. Check that out. Learn something new every day. That's fine and dandy. And this resolution looks okay. We're using the DB23 to VGA from Amiga Kit. It's a thinner version than the original Commodore one. That is real thick right here. And a lot of times when I'm using that on a board, I like the Amiga Kit part because it's really low profile, and the Commodore one would have to lift up and put some tension on the board. Useless information. The RGB to HDMI for the CDTV. Check that honking thing out. She gives you HDMI, a flippable doohicular thing over here for the CDTV or the A500 ROM switch, which I already have in there. You get all the bells and whistles with DB9s, and you get the menus, buttons, up, down. You know what? I think I'm upside down. There you go. And you can read it a little better. Port 1, port 2, joystick, and the most important thing, a freaking mouse. And the up-down position, enter, the buttons, the LEDs, and all the magic that makes it happen. It is cool. You even get a serial I/O connector here for the header. That is just a little close. Where are my glasses at? She's held on with the metal studs and screws like a Raspberry Pi, and you're going to notice you have all these connector things. Like, what the heck? And you got one on the top too. So there's some pre-wiring to be done. How does this hook up? Now here on the old backside of this girl, she's got a nice rear. We got the RGB video, parallel, serial, disk drive, audio out, remote, or keyboard mouse. Now you're thinking, that almost looks PS2. Well, it kind of almost is. Your PS2 pinout, of course, is like that. So if I cut one of those bottom pins out, she'd plug right in. And then I could rewire it to an Amiga keyboard or equivalent. I really don't need a keyboard because I have all 100 and whatever ISOs that the CDTV has. Inside of here, you get a couple more cables. We're going to be removing this adapter here, taking these two screws out, because I don't have a British TV, and none of this, besides the composite, applies to me. This just wiggles and slides out. See, there's your Commodore card. EMC PE3642. This, once I get my Raspberry Pi on here, which is in its original bag since I purchased it pre-Rona, and you will look like this when it's all done. And you get 2 DB9s and all the handsome stuff that it does. Then you can flip between your ROMs, A500, CDTV, kind of like how I'm doing right here on my, whoops, knock the camera. Kind of how I'm doing on the expansion slot between my no memory and my CDTV or Kickstart 1.3. That's what this will now take care of. So this, I'm going to leave it on all the RAM because why not? You have a couple cables here. So you have a Denise board, micro HDMI from the Pi, a joiner ribbon, and U75. So this is the joystick adapter that you will plug into U75. You run another ribbon out there. So it's just a couple boards. There's just a little bit of crowdedness inside of here. I'm also using Stephen Jones's Amiga PC keyboard. I love the tactile feel of that. 39 quid. You should pick one up on his website. CheckmateA1500plus.com. I think I got that right on the first try. The website I will link below, and I had it in my browser history the entire time. It's got a quick start guide, shows you all the magic here, how it hooks up, little cables, the board design, top, bottom, how you put your Pi on. And I need to solder on a header, which means I need to get all this crap out of the way. Okay, just like that, several minutes later, after using the underpowered 75 watt POS Heiko, boop, we have headers, and this goes on here like this. But before I do that, I have to take this micro ribbon cable and plug it into here. So that's how it's going to plug in. And then I'm going to do this Thailand tuck and kind of go like this. Boop. The screw will go back in this corner, and you have this nice letter S, or the infinite symbol. We'll screw that in here like this. And that is the Pi on the RGB to HDMI, ribbon cable, Pi, and the screw. That takes care of that part. That's one of the three. There's your Denise, 8362 R8. So we're going to get the Denise breakout board here. So we're going to grab one of these and slide her in here, blue side up, and put that this way in the Denise with that cable facing the back here. So that's in there forever. And then you can put your Denise back on. Again, SIL turn pin to SIL turn pin. You're either right on or you're really bent pins. Now, keep in mind that you have to make sure your chips are in there, because you are going to be basically resting the lid right on this. The metal of the top case is going to touch this. So if you're hanging high or crooked, you're going to touch something. If you want, isolate it with a piece of paper. I'm telling you right now. Now, here's a sideways shot of the CDTV. And what I'm going to do is I want to get this kind of over here, right, in this corner. Now, if I wanted to, I could undo this cable and try to slide it a little bit with my big dill pickle in the slot here. You can stick your finger in the back hole and just scoot this over a little bit, okay? And you want to kind of just slide this in here like this, and then reach around the other side there and kind of pull it through. Now, we'll tidy this up in a bit, and then you'll be fine. But we're just going to pull it right through right now and get it like this. Now we can go a little lower, actually. Kind of like that, okay? Gives us some slack, and she's going to sit a little bit, whoop, towards the dark side. Now, here's where the fun kicks in. You have two ports here. You have the Denise, and then you have the RGB. So if you have the V1, you're only going to have the Denise slot. You'll plug your boop in right there. Since I have the the other one, I'm going to pull this out, and this is where the fun's going to begin. So I have to go underneath here, right? I got to be on the blue side, number one. So you're going to be flipping cables here. Remember, because you're upside down. You're upside down when you plug this thing in like this. So keep that in mind. You got to go this way. So it's going to come in sideways like this, go up through this board, and then into the board. And that is going to be a F and B. Nope. Nope. Yep. Hooah. Like that. Holy crap. Now you can't go pulling on this because you're going to run over everything. You got to be real careful with this. There we go. In theory, I'm done for RGB. The rest is the controller ports. So up here in Magic Sauce Land, I need to remove U75, which has the front panel control board crap on it. And there we go. So that is out. That is going in here. This goes into this slot. Another one of these cables is going to go like this. And you're going to need this connector thing because it's not long enough. I popped out U75 here in the front. And I squished on, as you can see it's crooked, the adapter here into the socket. SL turn pin already on the board. Pretty cool. Put the chip back on. She's going to be so flush with the roof. The first ribbon cable goes here. Slides all the way back to here. But it has to do the magic fold sauce to come underneath, okay? When it comes underneath, we're going to wrap it around the same side as this, poke her out through here. We're writing the big D on here. That way I know it's Denise. They don't show you which way to plug it in, so I'm assuming blew up, and then I'm going to stick the other one in blew up. Got ourselves old John Holmes. But the idea is now it is long enough to run her around this same scenario. This exercise will be fun and frustrating. So now you can see we have a mess. Now the idea is I have to get all that crap in here. Now this one is the game one, so this is going to go this way and plug into here. Alright, now I'm going to take this guy on this side, plug that in, and now I can give it the old Thailand tuck. Boop. And we are blue to blue. If I even had that in the frame the whole time I was shooting it. So that is done as far as cable management goes, but I still have this mess on top to deal with. And like, it's got metal and stuff, and I don't want it touching anything. So I'm going to ignore that and just shove this in there the best I can. Now, I don't know how the ROM switcher is going to work because I unplugged it. And this goes in a slot and a slot. And I am just carefully making sure that my cables have enough room and I can get this in its slot. Cool. And that, in a nutshell, is it. If you hear some bitching upstairs, that is the kid and Mona arguing about whatever they argue about today. This video is going on VGA. This is going to get plugged into here. I'm going to put this foam block underneath this thingy. Let's hit it. We'll see that one first. Hopefully. Yes, the pile boot, and we'll see this. I see some lights on the bottom there. 5 volt 3.3. Cool. We got it. Now what we can do is we can press that select button and do all the preferences. Scan lines off, advanced motion, power up message, I don't know, return, settings, I am 60 Hertz, but this is going to be, so refresh is ED, ID, I don't know what you are, sir. Force, 50 Hertz, 60, I'm going to do this ED, ID thing. I don't know what it means. I think it's both. Auto scaling, integer sharp, integer soft, softer, interpolate 4x3, softer, full, softer, auto. I'm going to leave it on auto. How's that sound? Because that's the correct, I don't know. Save config. Right here off the Denise mod is this little wire, blue-green to the ROM selector. Now, folks, let's see what we get. I'm going to put the RGB back up. Now, this is in A500 mode. Okay, turning it off, flipping it down here on this little switch to CDTV, turning it back on. We should be in CDTV mode. There we go. And that does not look good. Using calibrate to fix video phase noise. And that looks not good at all. So let's do select. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, Amiga might help. Hey, that looks so much better. Ah, when you're a moron. Okay, let's back this truck up and see how the CDTV is supposed to look. Holy Christmas! That looks really good. Really good. RGB, nice. Really freaking nice. 4x3, stretched a little bit on that. Didn't mess with that. Holy bar mitzvah, Batman. That is incredible. You know what this needs? It needs Miss Pac-Man. Gosh, that looks beautiful. If you've never seen an RGB to HDMI, let me zoom you on in here. I mean, that is freaking clear, clear, clear. Compared to the RGB side, I mean, that's still good, but you can see a little bit of font fatness. Oh man, I gotta hold this down. My freaking cable's popped off. Yep. Another reason to do my cables. This game is so much fun and looks so great. I told you in the past the CDTV is both NTSC and PAL. Wow, how do you do that? It's done through the video board. You know, this thing. This is a UK PAL video board. The NTSC one has an S-video and not this guy. You'll have an S-video, a composite, and a coaxial here in America, where Jesus lives. But over in the UK, where everything's a little bit upside down and backwards, they have composite video out, an antenna in, and 2 TV. It's got a weird symbol on it. But this makes this sucker 50. It has a little dip switch on the bottom you can flick to make yourself feel better. I set mine to 50 hertz so I could have magic games in PAL. Here under my sub profile, I have it set to Amiga 50 hertz. So we're booting Workbench 1.3. My ROM is in the Amiga side. The reason my mouse didn't work is because on the joypad here, there's a button that says Joy Mouse, and I'm in joystick mode by default. And apparently that's how it works. So I have nothing, but if I press the Joy Mouse button, I have nothing. Because my batteries aren't in. Press the Joy Mouse button on the remote. If I press Joy, well, of course it's in joystick mode, but it remains active until you reset. So now I have a mouse and I learned something. So in my own daggone video. That's why, you know, never be too humble to admit you're a moron, because I'm a moron. It's hard to remember every single thing about every single Commodore device. It's flaky quirks and bits and things, especially with new hookups. This works fine. Apparently Peter on the group said if you press the Joy Mouse button once, this activates the mouse. It remains that way until the unit is powered off at the mains. If you want a permanent mouse enabled, you can lift pins 6, 7, 8, and 9 on U75. If you still don't have a mouse, check the seating of U75 or the ribbon cables as well. You gotta press the Joy Mouse button. I thought that was only for this. I thought the thing did its magic in the background. So that's cool. We're good to go. And now I have a Workbench 1.3 CDTV rocking with a mouse and a joypad I can use on the back too by pressing that button. So until next time, thanks for watching. We all learned something.